Is your retirement portfolio ready for summer volatility? Here are the 4 best annuities to lock in guaranteed growth and lifetime income right now. The multi-year guaranteed annuity, fixed indexed annuity, income annuity, and a variable annuity. Let's break it down. The multi-year guaranteed annuity, or the MYGA, think of this as a CD alternative with rates currently in the 5 to 6% range. When you compare this to a CD, I shop local CD rates, I shop CD rates at Schwab. We're looking at maybe 4% and below. So to get something between 5 or 6%, this is your CD alternative in this multi-year guaranteed annuity. So the pros, of course, is the higher interest rate, but the downside is surrender charges. If you break that annuity, it could be a 2-year, 3-year, 5-year annuity. If you break this annuity for whatever reason, you can lose some of your principal. So they have surrender charges and they are not very liquid. So if you're just stashing money away like you would in a 2-year, 3-year, 4-year CD, right? Think of this as a great option, but if you need money out of it, it doesn't work as well as intended. The second one is a fixed indexed annuity, or an FIA. So the fixed indexed annuity protects principal while capturing market gains. The fixed indexed annuities that we like to use are in the 3 to 5 year spectrum, right? Don't go too long on the annuity time frame because annuity companies can change, interest rates can change, your indices internally can change. Some of the downsides of an FIA are once again the liquidity, the surrender charges, right? The upside cap, but we only use the S&P 500. So if you go back 5 years in the stock market, you owned an FIA, and let's say your upside cap was say 10%. 2022, when the market was negative 18%, didn't lose money. You got a 0 for the year, right? But then in 23, 24, 25, and looking like 2026, you made up to 10% each of those years. So it's a great alternative to bonds. The third annuity to lock in this summer is an income annuity. So we use the fixed index annuity chassis like we just talked about, but add an income rider to it. So you get guaranteed income for life regardless of market performance. The positive side of this is you know what your income is going to be in the future. So it's almost like Social Security or a pension. The longer you wait, the higher your income is. The downsides of a fixed index annuity with an income rider is you have higher fees and you have lower growth. So the insurance company is guaranteeing you more money on the back end of your life instead of more money in this year. And then also there's the liquidity and the surrender charges piece of this as well, as with any annuity. The fourth annuity I like for this summer of 2026 is a variable annuity, but more specifically a registered indexed linked annuity. It's called a RILA. So there's a company out there right now that can buffer your losses in the market. So the other 3 annuities I talked about before cannot lose money. RILA is more for growth. You choose your buffer. You can say, I want to own the S&P 500 with all the upside, but I don't want to lose the first 10% or maybe the first 20%, or maybe you don't want to lose any. So the RILA has more growth opportunities, but it also has some risk involved depending on which buffer you choose. For example, right now, we can get into a RILA in either the 1-year, 3-year, or 6-year chassis. The 6-year has the best pricing because the options are cheaper the longer you go into the market. And for example, you can get the Dow Jones, right? Top 30 stocks in the Dow, you get 117% of the upside, and you can protect to where you don't lose the first 20%. So you have that buffer. So if the Dow goes up, you're going to make more money than the market. If the Dow goes down, you won't lose the first 20%. Seems like a win-win. What's the catch? Well, on this one, there are no surrender charges, but there's what's called a market value adjustment. Big picture, when you give the insurance company money for any type of these annuities, they're buying bonds. If the interest rates go up, they lose money on their bond portfolio only if they have to sell. So if you get out and the bond market has gone the opposite direction, they charge you back this market value adjustment, but you know on a daily basis. Also, when we think about tax planning, right, all 4 of these annuities, anything that says annuity on it is not as tax efficient with cash. So I only use annuities inside IRAs or Roth IRAs because the rules the IRS set for annuities, if you use cash or a non-qualified account, any non-retirement funds to go into it, is that your gains in the annuity come out first and they're taxed at ordinary income. So if you're in the 22% tax bracket, any gains you have in that annuity, whenever you take them out, is taxed at 22% versus what could have been done potentially at Schwab or your custodian and paid long-term cap gains rates maybe at 15%. Volatility is part of the market, but your peace of mind doesn't have to be. Whether it's the security of the MYGA or the growth potential of the RILA, the key is matching the products to your specific retirement timeline. If you found this overview useful, hit that subscribe button and tap the like. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Luke. I'll see you next time.